And we are back at Nixon Lane for the second half of Austin Blacks versus the Huns. It is 9-7 Blacks right now. Huns putting the kick into the air to start it off, and let's see how this unfolds.
And the Huns with a really high kick. Tim Howard takes it in the air. Looks like a little bit of contact there, but the referee choosing not to blow that one up.
Yeah,
keep his whistle down.
Looked a little high.
Great clearance kick here by Steve Jones. And as he kicked it outside of the 22, the ball will be brought back from where he kicked it since it went straight into touch. The Black sideline really picking it up here.
Absolutely, getting very vocal over here. A lot of really quick ball movement right off the bat here. I think both the Huns and the Blacks are looking for that first blood strike in the second half to really set the tone.
Great take by Connor Bertrand at the back of the ruck with Sam Family Man ruck. Blacks just lose it forward.
Ooh, that was dangerous for the Huns.
Blacks certainly looking to capitalize, but they can't off of these knock-ons.
And there's that loss forward. Yep, you see frustration coming from the Blacks' back line.
Sean Cox with the put in for the Hun scrum.
Now it's worth noting the Blacks are coming off again the second place in the nation right now. Doing a great job here, and crazily commendable for the Huns for keeping up pace. Oh!
Great taken by Antonio Wynn.
Absolutely.
It looks like there might be a little bit of hands in the ruck there. Again, referee electing to let the game play.
Put a boot to it. Oh, held on to it.
Now the Huns looking to
looks like a
capitalize
big boot
on
coming
this.
through.
Tongo.
That man can run, he can hit, he can kick.
Hamish Roberts with the take. Steven Jones again with a kick. A little bit of aerial ping pong here as
absolutely.
they
Welcome to the Northern Hemisphere.
As they look to gain possession of the field.
Fullbacks and wings eyeballing each other, wondering which one will have the cojones to take it in.
Steve Jones decides to have a go, and he does.
And what a go. Oh, looking for support, but in a dangerous place. One lone Huns player came through to recover that. Great run.
Good follow by the Huns defense there to be in the right position to turn that ball over.
Huns trying to soften up this Blacks defense. Boom, here comes that big boot again. This one looks like it might stay in. Ooh, tiptoeing the line.
Antonio Wynn with the ball to Ricky Johnson.
No, this is a dangerous man to give open field to.
Ricky elects to take it in as Newt O'Donnell is there immediately. Still looking to exhaust this sideline. Connor Bertrand again retaining possession. The Huns with great defense here. Sam Rook.
Oh, that might be a knock-on. That also might be a knock-on. Let's see what the ref says. Dangerous offload. Huns are not looking for it. Timothy Fitzgerald caught napping. Matt Zappa, fresh from his Sports Illustrated Body Edition shoot. And we see on the replay, Fitzgerald brings it out. We're looking for a quick offload, but nobody's home.
Come on, Blacks, let's settle down, boys.
Both sides getting really excited here. It's anybody's game right now. Just takes one breakaway to blow this game wide open.
We may have a player on the field here.
Absolutely, trying to get some eyes on him. Looked like Craig Wellborn.
Big number 1, Matt Zappa, overseeing the situation. Ready to set the scrum.
Sam, big push.
Jonesy looks to take it the other way, but may have just let that go.
Was a great run. Just a wild offload. In his defense, it was about 2 to 7 odds that ball was going to a black. It just did not work out for him.
Yeah, perhaps should have taken that one in, as Jonesy was looking to make something happen there. Story of the day here for both the Blacks and the Huns, just maybe a little bit too much. Huns secure possession at the back of the scrum. Out with a good line break, but also a good tackle by Levy Ferretti.
Sean Cox didn't see it happen.
As the penalty is awarded to the Blacks.
Replay coming through. Ball goes out. Fly makes a good run up. Ref hasn't blown it up yet.
Levy with a great tackle. And
there we go,
Huns
diving
player
in.
just off his feet.
You hate to see turnovers on silly mistakes like that, especially when the game is this close. You cannot blow your chance at getting back in this game because you're a little frustrated and you don't really feel like going in with good form. And we see it really often. You just got to lock it up. It's whoever does the less comes out on top.
You see Hamish, the evil Scotsman, Roberts here, lining up for the boot. Pat Sullivan's absence. And it's a long one as well.
Absolutely. Work out in his favor. It's straight down the middle. Line drive.
Line drive. And
looks like it was no good. It looked like Butch on the flags.
Scotsman himself not
Salty as they
happy about
come.
it. So Pat Sullivan, a real loss, as we've retired 2 points kickers now for the Blacks. Tim Howard with the take on the 22 restart.
Pretty good run through a lot of traffic.
Johnny Clary with a big run. Good, strong run by Johnny Clary.
Huns need to get those tackles lower if they want to keep them getting past the gain line.
With a great penalty, great coach by the
killing
Huns.
the ball. Uh-oh. Here we go again.
As you see, the Huns player clearly on his feet, has possession of that ball. Big, strong Tongo.
And he was being nice enough to let the Blacks number 9 know that he did in fact have possession of that ball. Little friendly banter on the field.
More a business transaction than anything.
Absolutely. I believe the hand grabbing a fistful of jersey is the rugby handshake.
That's right. This isn't soccer, ladies and gentlemen.
Though Matt Radzovich's hair would beg to differ wherever he is. God bless that man for 2 hours of preparation in the gym and then 4 hours in front of a mirror to make sure he's ready for the game.
Believe he is a GQ model.
He certainly thinks he is, if not.
Nice.
Johnny Clary with the take against the line out. Wesley Teo.
Good tackling by the Huns defense.
Good defense by the Huns. The Blacks securing the ruck at this point.
Absolutely.
And
for
it's
those
getting a little bit messy there in the breakdown.
It might have been a...
Huns looked at possession.
Huns have taken the ball back. Sean Cox getting a little show and go. Seeing what he can do from the outside. Blacks defense, very good job shutting down these pokes on the outside. Ooh. Strong runners coming through. Huns still attacking tight. We talked about it earlier. This Blacks offense loves to see the ball outside and get their speed going. The Huns are relying a lot on strength, just busting straight through the inside of the field. Woof, like we see there. You'd expect them now to swing it out, let the backs stretch their legs a little bit. Oh, Sam Feldman comes straight through.
The Huns still keeping it narrow.
Absolutely. I believe this is one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it situations. They're gaining meters every time.
Jones with a takedown on Tongo. And it looks to have Blacks possession. Oh, the referee blows it up and gives the scrum to the Huns.
Now we've seen a reversal here. I think the Huns have calmed down and the Blacks are getting a little more excited, making needless errors that you don't usually see from a team of this caliber. With the replay coming through, let's see if we can get a look at it.
Good hard tackle by Stephen Jones to the big Tongo. Sam Ruck. Sam Ruck with a good push over the ruck.
And this is a hair day out at Nixon Lane. Feeling a little inadequate here.
Yeah, I'll have to go home and make sure I get something a little bit more wild for the day.
Absolutely. Kind of feeling left out. Sean Cox, speaking of hair. Oh, good look at a pass for Cox, but it will be blown up for the knock-on.
Referee's going to go have a chat with his line judge.
I believe it was for the knock-on. Maybe he's just confirming with the line judge that everything is all right.
Talking to line judge there, trying to understand whether it's intentional knock-on or not. But the penalty is awarded to the Huns, and they will be going for the posts. If they slot this one, they will be taking the lead 10-7.
All right. Huns setting up for it. That is actually Thierry Dalpin coming through with a kick. Lines up and... yeah, just about an 18-wheeler wide of the uprights.
And the Blacks catch a break here as they remain on top with the 22. Drop out to restart.
That would have snuck the Huns ahead.
Just
And
a
the
bit,
kick coming wide.
just a bit outside. And a good boot for the 22, deep into Huns territory.
Ball got a lot more go on it than they wanted it to. Tongo seeming to be everywhere on the field.
Great take by Newt O'Donnell.
Absolutely. And the feet on this guy.
With Hamish Roberts has the ball.
Good support.
As just lost forward once more.
Good look at the rubber.
Though the Blacks receive the penalty. Newt with a quick start.
Let's see if we can figure out where that penalty.
And again,
Shenanigans in the ruck.
the ruck looking a little bit messy. The Blacks, another penalty awarded.
I think that's been the story of this game so far, is these rucks have just been the Wild West. Everybody doing whatever they can to get possession, legal or otherwise, and it's biting both teams in the butt right now. They've both given up some pretty great positioning, this time working out in the Blacks' favor, catching the Huns off guard.
There you go, Tui. Come on, get there.
Quick restart, and Levy in for the Blacks try.
Gets the reach in. Good effort by the Blacks.
Ricky Johnson with a quick tap over to Johnny Clary, who maintained possession as Levy picks it up and puts it in over for the try.
Definitely caught the Huns defense napping on that one. I don't believe they were prepared for the ball to start moving then. We saw on camera here a lot of the Huns back standing, hands on hips. Nobody's waiting for it. You can credit a lot of that to the sun and the heat coming out right now. It is just pouring on these players. I'm sure those black jerseys are just killing right now.
Yeah, it is a hot day, and luckily enough, you see the Blacks working their butts off in order to make that try happen.
Absolutely. Good stretch. Way to maintain possession right there. Got caught by the ankles. Matt Zappa doing everything he could, but Body was just not in position to stop the forward advance. 13 gets that good stretch over the try line and dots it down for the Blacks. Let's see if they can slot the kick for the extra points.
Blacks ahead by a score. If they can convert this try, they'll be ahead by at least 2 scores.
Absolutely. Converting this try is going to put the Huns in a really tough place. And
he slots it. 16-7, Blacks over the Huns with about 25 to go.
Now, this is not the position the Huns wanted to be in right now. They were doing a great job on defense, save for a few missteps, getting some penalties, turning it over, and then letting that try in. That's really going to be a hard hill to come over with how tight this game has been so far. Let's see if the Huns have something up their sleeve on this kickoff.
Huns looking to kick. Black's ready for the reception.
Kyle Breitenbach and Craig Wellborn look like they're about to take off for their 40-meter dash. Let's see if they go down to say hello.
Good boot taken by big number 5, Eric Reed. As the Blacks secure possession of the ruck. And with just the chip over from the scrum half. Little kick. The Huns looking to run with it.
Good movement.
As the kick may have been tipped, but big Eric Reed takes it. Spins out wide to Antonio Wynn, who spins it to Ricky Johnson.
Johnson dangerous on the outside.
Contact.
Oh, hell yeah, Antonio.
I've seen Johnson on the 7 squad a few times. That man can move, and he knows the field. He knows where all of his teammates are and where he needs to put the ball to get it where it needs to go.
It looks like the Huns called for not rolling away as the Blacks are awarded another penalty.
Yeah, and he is none too happy about it.
Breakdown isn't quite the caliber of these teams today. Some nerves. It is Derby Day. It is a rivalry. Perhaps getting to them, a few players losing their heads. The Black sideline really lighting up right now as the players jog to the next line out.
The Blacks feeling that if they can touch one more in, that's going to cinch the game up. Now, we've got a lot of time left, but again, with how tight this has been, I got to believe one more try with the conversion is going to be very hard for the Huns to come back from. They're already fighting uphill. They have to try to stop the bleeding and get back in this before it's too late.
Johnny Clary with a big throw to the back on Connor Bertrand. They decide to go with the maul. Clary with possession, and the Blacks secure the ruck.
Huns not dedicating too many numbers to the ruck. They're looking to cover the spread that the Blacks have been running so far.
And that's probably smart.
Absolutely.
The Blacks like to spin it out wide.
Blacks getting too much ground on these little runs for the Huns to be able to do anything. Kick goes up. And it's going to be out.
Stephen Jones looks to go for that drop kick, misses it wide.
You don't see him very often in States play. It's especially from live play. It just doesn't happen. It's sort of a risky shot, especially in all that traffic.
The Huns set to restart from the 22-meter line.
Yeah, there's that kick. He knew immediately that was bad contact.
I think Jonesy looking for the offsides call from the ref, not getting it. Oh, and that is contact that likely should have been called in the air. We don't want to see that dangerous play happen. Ricky Johnson on the sideline.
Let's see.
And a knock on by the Blacks with possession to the Huns, and Huns putting in the next scrum.
I know we didn't see that on the footage. That was a nasty in-air hit, though.
That's something you don't want to see. The player in the air cannot be touched until he hits the ground. And it looks like he was just...
Yeah, there it is. It didn't look like it was meant to be super bad. Just got a hand on him, pulled him down. And that's a bad spot to be in, intentional or not. You've got to make sure that doesn't happen. You don't want to see somebody come down, land on their neck.
Hamish Roberts back up and operating after that. Good to see there's nothing substantial there. The Huns player clearly releasing his arms, making sure that the ref knew it was not intentional.
We spoke about it earlier. Generally, you don't see a lot that is intentionally malicious. There are things that will happen in the heat of the moment that just two teams giving it their all. You can't help it. Sometimes somebody pops off. After this game, everybody's going to be friends, grab a beer together.
Absolutely. Absolutely looking to win the party after this match with about 20 to go.
There's that foot we've been seeing all game.
Big high bounce to Pierce Reed, who was a bit shifty in himself.
Absolutely. Pierce, we saw in the last game as well, very dangerous on the outside with space.
Antonio Wynn with the broken tackles.
Huns not wrapping up there. Good take out of bounds by the Huns.
Great defense by the Huns as The Blacks miss an opportunity to dot one down for 5 points.
Here's that replay coming through. Great offload. Robert Drummond just getting slipped back inside. Matt Zappa missing it too. The front rowers going after the fullback. That's never something you want to see. And da dunk.
And just a squandered opportunity there.
Tongo putting his stamp on that one.
Great defense.
Oh, that was poor ball handling by the Huns. They see a little bit of miscommunication.
The ref has awarded the scrum for the knock-on to the Blacks. Huns knock-on, Blacks will look to push this one in.
Absolutely. Being in the danger zone, you can't let things like that happen. Troy Spencer, the new number 2, coming in here. Looks like came in for Nico Martinez. He's been around for a long time, knows his way around. Just looks like his eyes were somewhere else. Huns looking to boot and rally here. Looks like Colin Bouget came in at flank. Sean Cox still directing from number 9.
Newt O'Donnell looking with the put in for the Black scrum. As the Blacks secure possession at the back.
And a mess of a scrum. There, Sean Cox goes. Oh. Must have been a whistle. Heartbreaking for the Huns. That looked like that could have gone all the way.
Looks to be a penalty awarded to the Blacks. See
that again. Ball comes out. And it's blown up immediately. As hard as it is for the referee to see what's going on, it's even trickier from us with limited camera angles. Butch making a statement with that haircut. What that statement is, nobody really wants to know, but God bless him for trying.
Butch, a longtime referee and University of Texas coach at one point. Very involved in the rugby community here in Texas.
Absolutely.
Johnny Clary looking to throw the ball in for the Blacks. And at the front of the line out with the knock-on.
Mishandling on both sides, but it looks like Troy Spencer came through and had a knock-on.
Looks to the Blacks to have advantage. Referee blows it up.
There it is.
And we're going to have a restart scrum to the Blacks.
Let's go, boys!
It's a combination of jitters and exhaustion coming through at this point, but we're seeing a lot of misplays.
Let's go, Huns!
Yeah, these players have been battling out pretty heavily, especially these forwards. With the amount of scrums we've had today, every one of them is going to be exhausted, and they have all been workhorses out there.
The Blacks really looking to put this one in as they've had a few opportunities down deep in the Huns territory.
Absolutely, and they want to do what they can to seal up this game.
Wesley Teo with the big take.
Might have been taken out. Yes, looks like he was taken out. A good thought. Sean Cox coming through, showing him what a low center of gravity and about 100-pound soaking wet can do.
Certainly good defense by the Huns.
So let's see the Huns line out, what they can do. Seems like it's been pretty Blacks dominant in the line out so far. Robert Drummond sending it.
Looks to be not straight from the Huns. The Blacks will get to elect.
These Black lineouts have been pretty sharp so far. Couple mishandles, but fairly reliable.
Again, pretty taxing play here down deep in Huns territory. The Blacks looking to maul as they secured that line out. Newt O'Donnell digging for the ball.
Absolutely. This game has probably been about 70-30 for the forwards doing work here.
As Newt's digging for the ball there, it looks to have knocked it on, so the referee says. Blacks certainly not happy about that.
And Stephen Jones, once again, unhappy with what was happening on the field. Little Huns team yoga. Yeah, we're coming through. Blacks making a good drive of it. Huns bringing it down.
It's a bit of a questionable call there.
Absolutely. There's a lot going on in there. And
Tough to see in that ruck.
Absolutely. Credit to this official for keeping on it as much as he has. It seems to have been a pretty fairly called game with mistakes on both sides.
Yeah, certainly. We're lucky to have good referees in Texas to officiate these matches.
And that is a thankless job.
The Huns take it from the back of the scrum. Good Blacks defense, ties them up right at the gain line.
Absolutely. Huns want to put a boot to it right now. Terry lining up in the back. Cox should send it there for a quick boot for position from inside the 22. So if this goes straight out, there we go. Butch marking the spot.
A little bit of breathing room for the Huns here as the Blacks look to get another line out.
And that's what they needed. Most of this half has been played in the Huns half of the field.
And the Blacks letting go wide. Hamish, Shifty, the evil Scotsman himself, tied up right there. Newt looking to put it back out wide.
Now, we've seen
Big
some
Tim
great
Howard.
runs from Hamish coming through here. He's had some great
through.
lines. Sam Feldman looking for defense.
Levy
All
Coretti
arms
with
right
a bit
there.
of a ring around the neck.
Blacks overloading the outside.
And the ruck getting a little bit messy. The referee blowing up the knock-on again in the ruck.
This has been the story of this game so far. Just little mistakes in these rucks are just killing momentum for both teams. Now, the Blacks naturally have a little more breathing room right now because it will take some extra effort for the Huns to get down, get a try, get a conversion, and score again somehow in order to take the lead back.
Certainly not outside the realm of possibilities, but it is tough in this hot day. As both teams are punishing each other with good defense.
Absolutely, and we've seen the play from both sides. We've shown that it's possible. Not a ton of huge breakaways, which is a testament to both these teams' defenses. So we've got to see what the Huns have in their hat that they can pull out to make something happen here.
Sean Cox with the put in at the back of the Huns scrum and looking to clear from Dalpin. Still in for the Blacks. Matt Radzovich looks to have a go with it.
Straight to the wings is not
just
what the
tied
Huns
up.
want to see. Matt Rad, of course, known for his speed on the outside.
Blacks flat on their feet as Chris Parker is taken down and the ruck secured.
Looks like the Blacks are just fighting for every spot they can get.
Connor Bertrand with the take. Again, Johnny Clary with big hit.
You can see it on all of their faces. Every one of these players is exhausted right now. Huns take
The ball
possession.
looks to be turned over.
Omani Tongo with that huge boot. Oh, Blacks do a great job to keep the ball inside. Good defense right there.
Pierce Reed tied up right on the 5-meter line. Penalty awarded to the Blacks. A little messy again on that breakdown.
Replay coming through.
Great take by Pierce Reed.
Good take. Very risky reaching out like that. If he had missed that, he would have been in a lot of trouble. But he didn't. Alex Lyles there for the tackle. Alex spending a little time in Australia learning how to deal with people dancing around on the wings like that.
Yeah, and Pierce Reed's a hard one to take down. Certainly a shifty character.
Absolutely. You saw that double shift on the ankles like it was nothing. And he is out there ready for more.
Good boot by Stephen Jones, but
puts
just
it
a bit
up.
wide. 22 restart to the Huns.
Good
As
touchdown
the
there.
Blacks look to set up their defense.
Now the Blacks going for that kick because it would ensure that the Huns would have to make conversions on both of their tries in order to get back in the game. Smart step, but just a bit outside on it.
And the Huns restart with a take by Timmy Howard right around the 50-meter line. Antonio Wynn decides to have a run with it and is pummeled right there by the Huns defense.
I believe he found himself a flanker, which is never what you want to do as a fullback.
The Huns look to have possession of the ball now.
Absolutely. Looks like the young Bouget coming through. Huns taking whatever stabs they can get.
And a great poach by Levy Coretti. Pierce Reed with a quick pickup. And I'm not sure anyone can stop him now. That is a fast man.
Absolutely.
Pierce Reed with absolute burnout speed as Levy Coretti comes in on the poach right on the sideline there.
This is not what the Huns want to see.
Levy Coretti over the top immediately, and that's what you want to see from your outside center. You see the ball comes back as they counter up. Pierce Reed looks up, quick head on him.
Absolutely. Good on him to be aware of what was happening. Found the ball right back at his feet. No hesitation. Went for it. Shook off the defender.
The afterburners.
And with a little style, touches it down center to make for an easier kick. Now the Blacks really want to hit this conversion just to make sure the Huns are out of range. If this conversion is missed, then it's just going to be 2 tries and conversions, and the Huns can tie it up. If it's made, then it is rough territory for the Huns.
And a miss.
It's missed. So the hope is still alive here in Austin for the Huns to come back. As we saw just then, I imagine with how tired our forwards are, we're going to see a lot more of those backs picking up and making wide open runs like that.
Just over 7 minutes remaining here on the clock. Of course, there'll be some extra time for injuries and other penalties of sorts, but not too much time left on the clock here to score twice with 2 conversions.
Absolutely. Hunt sideline getting lit up, trying to encourage their boys to get down and get it done.
It's good to see this amount of fans here at a Texas Rugby match. It's a beautiful day for it as well.
Absolutely. With rugby growing at the pace it is in the U.S. and in Austin, with Austin growing so quickly, we expect this sport to just blow up, only get bigger and better from here. It's great to see. Oh, unfortunate turn of events.
Nudo O'Donnell with a big kick.
Good kick.
As Huns decide to return the favor.
Heller follows that ball down there, putting his entire team back on side so they can make a move. Troy Spencer coming through, tying him up. The Huns have the Blacks in danger territory here.
And great defense here by the Huns to pin the Blacks back into their territory after that kick. But Stephen Jones finds his mark again and puts a boot into touch.
Probably going to look for the quick in.
Looks like a bounce towards the Huns, keeps the ball in play, and the Huns look to counterattack.
Oh, that's a big collision. Got to move that ball, can't dance around with it. That appears to be Michael Hickey coming in fresh.
Great ruck by Tim Howard.
Absolutely.
I love to see this here. Pierce Reed deciding to get shifty on him, cut it back inside.
Pierce Reed running his own support lines here.
And a penalty blown up by the referee for holding on to the ball. It's unfortunate to see from great attack by the Blacks, but great defense by the Huns. A few players scattered around the pitch, laying down, suffering from the heat.
Here comes the replay, and this big clear.
Connor Bertrand jumps on the loose ball on the ground. Johnny Clary picking it up.
And at this point, it's hard to tell if players are injured or just exhausted. There's probably a good combination of both.
This is the hottest game of the year so far for these two teams as they try to play in this heat. You'll see a lot of cramps, see a lot of exhaustion, keeping the players well hydrated. Will certainly do them solid.
And that was Mama T helping out her Huns players. came out to volunteer her services after moving to Austin. She's been a great addition to this Huns team. Troy Spencer looking to put it in.
Troy Spencer with a toss in from the Huns.
Michael Hickey slapping it back.
And loses it with the advantage award to the Blacks, and now blown up from the referee. The knock on by the Huns will result in a scrum for the Blacks.
Blacks are doing a great job of snuffing out this Huns offense before it can get wound up. Huns are wanting to move the ball around, but the Blacks are getting there too fast to let them dance.
And this is probably what the Blacks want. They want to slow down the game. They want to make sure that they can tick the time off the clock in order to secure this victory.
Absolutely. They're in no rush to get this ball back into play.
Zach Triplett slots in for Newt O'Donnell as he puts the ball in for the Black scrum. Immediately to the back. Stephen Jones with the kick ahead.
A great kick. Looks like Sean Cox recovers and
returns the favor.
Punishes the gazebo for daring to be in the way of his kick.
There's Tane Juricevic himself, head coach of the Austin Blacks.
Again, going for the hair highlight reel, going from Sean Cox to this.
He happens to be an award winner in the Austin Hair Society this year.
Which was stiff competition this year from what I hear.
Certainly was, as you can imagine, the amount of dreadlocks and other hairstyles there. Comes away with a clean head of wavy hair, looking like an 80s rock star. As the ball's put out to Hamish Roberts, who's stopped at the gain line by the Huns defense. Looking to be held up.
Huns looking to kill the ball here to get a penalty in their favor. Looks like we are playing advantage towards the Blacks. Now the Huns with a good strategy, trying to kill the ball here, will get the ball in their possession. But as you can see, it's not as clean a tackle as they would like to make, so it winds up being a little bit risky here. Nice grubber through. Straight out.
A good grubber by the hooker, Johnny Clary.
Terry over there having a conversation with Butch, seeing if he can't sneak a couple points up on the board while no one else is looking.
And Stephen Jones looking to slot this one for the Blacks, put them into a 3-score game.
And at that point, it's already a long, long reach for the Huns. If this kick is good, that's the last nail in the coffin.
And he looks to have it.
He does have it. Huns hate to see this. You can see a little disheartened.
The Blacks up 24-7 on this fine day of rugby. Not a lot of time left to play. We'll see what the referee decides for injury time.
And right now, Blacks are still looking to make another run at Nationals this year. They are still in the running. Huns are out. So Huns have nothing to prove to anyone but themselves right now what's going on. Imagine they will put the pedal to the metal on this one and give everything they have.
That's right. And the Huns are a gracious host, and they'll have a good time with the Blacks after this match, but it looks to be in the Blacks' favor at this late in the game. Timothy Howard with the take, secures possession.
Excellent counter-rucking.
Zach Triplett looking to clear. Great scrum half kick.
Ooh.
And great defense
Michael
by
Hickey
Johnny Clary.
just got lit up like a Christmas tree.
Sean Cox decides to spin it. Good hard run.
Great little kick by Sean Cox, just finds its way into black hands.
Antonio Wynn returns the favor with a big kick. Let's see how it bounces
That's into
for the
open
Huns.
field to a lock.
You're good, stay in!
You don't very often want to see a lock in open field. Forced
And with
out of
really
bounds.
good defense by the Blacks.
Absolutely. Looked like that was Alex Lyles that was taken out, and you know he's disheartened. That man has a lot of speed that he's just waiting to use. Here comes the replay. Got a
One
Wellborn
broken
on the run.
tackle, but seems to hold on and takes a boot to the face.
Absolutely. And that offload, there's just nothing that Lyles could do with it. He is dead in the water as soon as he's got it. He's none too happy about it.
Antonio Wynn looks to pop back up. Quick stretch needed. It's a hot day. Not a lot of time left to play. I'm not sure what the referee has decided, but looking to come to a close here pretty soon at the Huns rugby pitch.
I would imagine this gets wrapped up on the next stoppage.
Johnny Clary with a toss to the back. Connor Bertrand takes it down. They decide to maul, kill a little bit of time.
Blacks don't need it, but they're still looking to dot down another one just for the scorebooks.
And Mark Laguerre takes it out.
Ball! Loose ball, let's go! Jonesy, every time. Every time.
24-7, just the perfect time to put Mark Laguerre in.
Mark Laguerre himself, former Austin Hun.
Absolutely, Air Laguerre. You can see these players have just been pouring it on for the past 82 minutes. Kudos to all of these guys out here for just being workhorses. We've seen some quality rugby out here. Little issues in rucking, absolutely, but otherwise things look good. And Anthony Arnold coming in.
Quick chance for water and stretching for the players as they look to close out this game.
Interesting strategy given the limited amount of time left on the clock.
While our clock continues to run, the referee himself has stopped his game clock, which means ours may be additional time outside of the allotted 80 minutes.
Absolutely, but right now we're looking for stoppage time pretty soon either way. Huns and Blacks both lucky to have some great photographers that come out and volunteer, get some good shots of the action that we see on the field.
There's certainly some single guys out there with some new Tinder photos for sure.
Absolutely. If I don't pull something Facebook worthy out of this, then this was not worth my time.
And that's a short arm penalty awarded to the Huns, so they take a quick tap with a kick ahead. And Zach Triplett
Ooh, denying
does not
the
come up
tackle.
with it.
Sam Feldman.
Huns really
Good
giving it a go
offload.
here. A lot of heart as the Blacks look to get back in defensive position. A penalty awarded to the Huns. The Blacks need to retreat 10.
Huns trying to continue this march before the Blacks can reform their defense.
A quick last push.
Taking it back into traffic instead of moving it outside to where it's a little lighter.
While another score surely wouldn't deny the Blacks a victory, it does show how determined they are to keep this Hun side from scoring as they push this late in the game.
Absolutely, and you got to hand it to the Huns for really fighting their way into this, even though they know there's nothing they can do to come back into this. Oh,
Antonio Wynn with
slippery.
his own looks.
Very
Pierce
slippery.
Reed comes up with the ball.
If the Huns recover this, very well could be a try.
Looks like the Blacks have possession. Johnny Clary with a go-ahead by himself, with a little pop to Zach Triplett, with another pop inside to Timothy Howard. As they set the ruck here, Zach Triplett looking to spin it.
Ref blows it up.
And there's the penalty, and a little bit extracurriculars again as the breakdown gets messy. Good hustle by the Huns, but on the wrong side of the referee's whistle here.
Absolutely.
And that's the game.
That's the game. Blacks take it 24-7 here at Nixon Lane. Blacks moving on now. Austin, when were they heading to playoffs?
They will be in playoffs in Tucson, Arizona, May 21st and May 22nd.
Absolutely. So both sides wish the Blacks luck. Want to see some good Texas rugby come out and take the national title. If you have to lose to anybody, best that it can be the best in the nation. So from us, I am Kevin McKitterick.
And I am Austin Byrne.
And thank you very much for joining us. We're going to take a quick break and have some interviews with the coaches when we get back. All right, wrapping things up here at Nixon Lane. Austin Blacks 24 to Huns 7. This is Kevin McKitterick. I am joined here by the Blacks head coach, Tane. Tane, great game from the Blacks today. Talk us through a bit about what how you prepared for this and how you're feeling about how it went.
Well, we prepared. You know, we know how they like to attack, and it's very direct, and it's up near the fringes. And we did a lot of work on that during the week. But credit to them, they managed to slow our game down and disrupted the way we wanted to play for most of the game, which kept them in it. But you know, it's all credit to them. But all credit to our boys for pulling through and getting the victory in the end.
Absolutely, absolutely. We saw the Blacks defense was just smothering the Huns trying to come in. It looks like you trained for the right approach there, so credit to that. So how do you deal with losing a few of your key players right off the bat? It looked like we had some injuries pretty quickly in the game that were rough to get around.
Yeah, well, luckily we have a strong squad and a strong club, so we've got a lot of talent and a lot of depth, and hopefully the injuries they weren't too... hopefully just out for a week or two. We'll see how that goes over the next few days, what the doctor says. But, I think the guys that came on did really well, and I'm very proud of them.
As you should be, as you should be. Now, you had a great showing here today at Nixon, and to my understanding, you're heading to Tucson soon for the national playoffs, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Absolutely. Have to be excited about that. That's 2 years in a row that the Blacks will be taking a stab at best team in the nation. That's got to be a lot of pressure on you as a coach.
Well, last year there wasn't much pressure, but because we were the underdogs. We weren't really expected to do much, but we made it all the way to the final, and we lost in the final in the last minute of the game. I think this year there's been more expectation, and there's a bit of pressure. But if you don't like pressure, then you shouldn't be here. So
absolutely, couldn't agree more. Well, thank you a ton for taking time here with us. Had a great game. Thanks for the showing, and best of luck to you in Arizona.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I'm back with Johnny Cleary, the man of the match for the Austin Blacks. Great game today. Talk us a bit through what happened out there.
It was an extremely physical game. The Huns, crosstown rivals, they really came to play today, and they really brought the physicality, whereas we were looking to play a wider game, and we kind of, I guess they disrupted us with their tight game. They kind of busted up the middle a lot of the big forwards making some big runs, and they had a good kicking game. I think they might have won the kicking battle, and it was a really, really competitive game.
Absolutely. Now, being up in the front, I mean, you saw a lot of work today. We saw a ton of scrums throughout that entire play. That's got to be wearing on you under this heat as a player.
Yeah, it's my first experience playing in this kind of weather, this high-temperature rugby. But, probably the link between the backs and the forwards for the Blacks didn't really click today. I think we were winning our set piece reasonably well. The scrum was a bit poor, but we just weren't linking with the backs. We weren't getting those rucks, and they really came to play at ruck time. So they really, in terms of rucks, they kind of blew us off the park. In terms of physicality, they made a lot of turnovers. They definitely won the penalty count, and you could see that with the physicality. We were lucky to get a few breakaway tries, and I think Pierce Reid saved us there.
Absolutely, came in at the end, just screaming down the
absolutely.
field. But your performance, I mean, the Blacks defense was playing the Huns to a standstill for the most part. As you said, there were a lot of attacks inside, but it looked like the Blacks were pretty prepared to handle that.
Yeah, we was kind of a constant onslaught, and we work a lot in defence. Stevie Swindle has us fairly nailed down on defence, and we try to keep as disciplined as we can. We try to not go for the turnover as much as say the Huns did, but it worked for them today, and it kind of didn't really work for us.
Gotcha. Now, well done today. So big congratulations on man of the match. You definitely earned it.
Thank you.
Now, I know you have Tucson coming up soon, making a stab at Nationals. How are you feeling about that?
We're pretty confident. We had a few bad injuries there today. We're missing our captain, Ty Terrazone. Probably our leader on the backs, Pat Sullivan, went off early. They were big losses there, and we lost that. So we'll be hoping with Dallas next week. We're hoping we get through that injury-free and take a full squad to Tucson, and that'll be massive help. Take a full 3 teams there, so we're going to need everyone.
Good deal. We appreciate it, and everyone in Texas Rugby will be cheering for you the whole way.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Great match.
Thank you very much.
And I am back here with Kirk Tate, head coach for the Huns. Kirk, talk us through a little bit. We came up sort of short today, but the game was super tight the entire time. Looks like it just slipped away through the last few minutes.
Yeah, well, the Blacks have amazing depth, and they can play 80 minutes of really high-level, intense rugby. And full credit to them. They did a good job today.
Absolutely, and I think the same could be said from the Huns squad out there. Given the Blacks are coming off of a step at the national championship, I think a lot of people were leaning pretty Blacks heavy on this. Huns came out and showed them what's for a good chunk of the game. So kudos to yourself and the team for really pulling that together.
Well, the guys have worked really hard in training the last month or so. We've done a lot more contact work in training. And the physicality showed today in that first half. And I was really proud with the effort and the work that they put in.
Good, as you should be. Now, can we talk a little bit about, now this was a great setup. I know they're working hard on the pitch. I hear the Huns are working extra hard off the pitch as well to really drive Texas rugby forward as a whole. Can you talk us through a bit about what they have going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening. We're looking at becoming a professional organization in everything that we do. You know, rugby has traditionally been an amateur sport in the United States. There are plans to further develop this facility, develop a stadium facility and a training facility. So things are definitely going in some really exciting directions, not just for the Huns, but for all of rugby in the United States right now.
Absolutely, which is great to hear, and glad to see the Huns at the forefront of making that happen here in Austin and here in Texas. Really, you've done a great job with the program, and we're excited to see what comes next.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kevin.
Thanks a ton.
Yep.
All right, and I'm here with Brian Wellborn, half of the Twin Terrors out there on the field, who got man of the match for the Huns. Hell of a game out there, man. Very physical. Talk us through a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a hard-fought match. We traded blows for about 60, 70 minutes there, and we just couldn't get the ball out of our territory in the second half, and the Blacks capitalized on that, and they got a good win over us today.
Absolutely. Now, a hard-fought game, great-looking game for y'all. I think what's more exciting on the Huns' future right now is we've got a lot of cool things progressing here. A partnership with Todd Clever, with some professional teams overseas, and the development of professional rugby. How does that, as a player, how are you looking at everything that's going on? Talk me through that.
Absolutely. Very exciting, big moves being made in Huns Nation for the future. And right now what it's done with the motivation for this club is it's made every day up until we actually go professional and we launch it, building for the next season. So there is no end of the season at this point for us. Every day is exciting. Every day is building towards a new future for this club. So it's what it's done is it's put a lot of wind in our sails, and we're trying to carry that through the summer and into next season.
That's great to hear, and as long as we see performances like that from you and your brother out there and all the other Huns, then I know this is a solid foundation to build on to get this professional program going. So we're excited to see what happens. Thanks
Absolutely.
a ton for giving us your time here.
Thank you all.
And good game.
Yeah, Huns Nation.
Now that wraps it us here at Nixon Lane and Huns versus the Blacks here. Blacks came out on top after a hard-fought victory. Thank you everyone for joining us here, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. This is Kevin McKitterick, and we'll see you soon.